Conceição Silva. I come from Católica Porto Business School. And the idea for this presentation is that we share how we are starting building a framework for impact measurement in higher education. This is a collaborative work with João Marcelino, which is here with me, and I will start with the main contents of this presentation, in particular to frame the context where we started developing this framework, based, of course, on Pure and on the Elsevier system. And then he will address some of the main issues about our use case. I would like to start by saying that we are in the beginning of this journey, okay? So this is basically, we bring here the pains that we have been suffering in creating this kind of impact measurement system, to share it with you and also to share with you our case. So just to contextualize what is going on here, CPBS, it's in Porto, in the north of the country, is a triple accredited school, and we have around 1,700 students in all cycles of studies. Like many other institutions, and particularly accredited institutions, we have several problems regarding the reporting that we need to do periodically for these accreditation systems, and also the reporting that we now need to have for rankings and so on. So data needs are growing a lot recently. And of course we have multiple softwares and multiple data sources. And this creates a difficulty because we need more data, and data are very spread over various areas. And so what we decided to do was to basically create, or try to create, a system that tries to solve this problem. The systems do not communicate as well, and so the idea for this new system is that it can make data communicating. So this is basically the institutional framework for this idea. Then another thing that I would like to tell you is that in order to start solving this problem, and the main problem is that data do not communicate. We have multiple places where data is. We don't have a single source of truth regarding data. And data needs are growing and growing. And so basically we are with this sort of problem. So the idea was we started to solve or try to solve this problem by creating what we call the Data Intelligence Office, whose objective is basically to integrate the various sources of data and create this kind of source of truth, okay? You're smiling. That's probably what everyone wants, right? So yes, so we are trying to do that. We started by doing something that was easier. That was the main complete system of metrics that we have actually came from Pure, because Pure is actually collecting lots of data on our researchers, and therefore we decided to start by the research data. The idea is to integrate research data, teachers' data, students' data, to make the full integration of data that we need. But we need to start somewhere, so we started by here. The final objective is to try to create an alive impact measurement platform. We don't have impact yet, okay? So we are basically starting to build the basis that will allow us to create an impact system. But before creating an impact system, we actually need to have a data system, a proper data system. And that's basically what we asked João to do in CPBS, and he's doing very beautifully, as you will see. Okay, I will pass the floor to João.
So before starting, I come from the industry. I'm a professional BI developer, And I didn't work at the academia before this, okay? So I needed to start my background to learn more about the theory, about the impact assessment, because I wasn't very sure I understood what impact was really about. And the thing is, impact is very important to measure, because since the 90s, there is a growing pressure to make the higher education institutions more accountable. The taxpayers want to be sure that universities are really delivering value to society. And from what we could understand, despite being critical to assess impact and to measure impact, we are still too dependent on citations. And maybe the citations tells you part of the story, but not everything. Impact is all about change, and just the citations don't tell you everything about the story. So we also concluded that many tools and many frameworks allow us to assess impact, but are very SDG oriented. So again, we also have a part of the story, but not everything. So we saw a research opportunity to try to link the theory and the practice all together. And we tried to perform a couple of actions that would allow us to start from the measures, the KPIs, and to understand impact along the story. So what we tried to bring you today is the past, the present, and maybe a small glimpse of the future. When I arrived to CPBS, to Católica University, we had data that was scattered along many departments. So it was very, very hard for me to try to bring all that siloed information and data all together. And so we had a lot of reports, a lot of PDFs, a lot of Excels, all around. So you feel my pain, right? So we had many Excels, many departments, so you can multiply the departments by the Excel files, and you have the source of truth. So we lived on a situation in which we're very VLOOKUP dependent. We were always trying to put scattered files all together in one source of truth. And you are aware of Excel limitation in terms of rows, in terms of size, in terms of connection between files. So we didn't know very well who were sometimes the owners of information. Where the information was stored was in Conceição's computer, my computer, someone else's computer. No auto-refresh, everything very manual, no scalability, and we were very UI dependent, user interface. We wanted to use Pure's information, and we had to use the Pure platform. We also had a lot of information that we wanted to consume and to bring together to our system, but we had also to use the profile, which is an internal tool we use to assess the faculty career and all that. And we had to... Teaching load, sorry. And we were very dependent on consuming the information through the UI and not to consume the information directly from the source, from a database. And in the end, we would make like handmade reports, one-shot handmade reports for each specific need, for each specific accreditation. And sometimes, by the way, after the report was ready, we would conclude that maybe this information that the departments had was not that accurate. So we would pick up information from the report and then reinsert the information in the department files. And the entropy started to grow. As such, we needed to deliver a more modern and accurate model. And by doing so, we started to deal with a couple of files, inevitable files that we still have You know that it's true. You can't erase Excel from your organization. But instead of just consuming information from a UI platform, that profile I told you about, the teaching load app, I started to connect directly to the SQL database source. And so I brought that information inside a data set in Power BI. I also picked up the information that Pure provides to us, and you know, sometimes it's still inevitable to extract information from Pure with an Excel. Sometimes you need to extract, but I built a Python script that connects to Pure through an API. Oh, 3 minutes. I need to be fast. And extract the JSON, put the information inside the data set, everything mixed together in one source of truth, and to deliver the information to the organization through an organized Power BI report, through Teams, through Excel, and all that. And the main purpose was to have a unified source of truth and reporting for the whole organization and for the certification entities, such as a quiz and all that. This is a small demo of our work so far. Please keep in mind it's still in development, so it's not fully ready. We can choose the research overview, we can slice and dice data, we can filter researchers by output type, we can filter faculty by output, we can check the output's evolution, not only in the value itself, but also the running totals across time. I want to show you more, but I can't, I'm sorry. And the future. The future. So all these brought me to my PhD thesis, which I'm working on. I just started this year, so it's still, very embryonic. But our aim is to run a longitudinal study in which we are going to gather information from several sources, students, faculty, and all that. We aim to integrate information from other data sources, such as LinkedIn. We want to try to understand what our students, our partners are doing and how they are behaving after studying with us. And maybe even to perform predictive analytics to try to custom our studies and our courses to what people are liking and following across LinkedIn. These are our main references, and I'm sorry I'm running against time, and that's it. Thank you.